with my brush. My golly, just dropping everything. I just dumped my Laura Mercier powder all over my floor. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I have a small review. So guess what I purchased? The Anastasia and Jackie Aina palette. Now when I saw this, well, the packaging, for one, let me say the packaging is just like not calling my name, but the eyeshadows inside the palette are. So this is what the inside looks like. Now to me personally, these eyeshadows are really, of course, people of color friendly, and I'm slightly colored, so they were just calling my name. For me, I don't have a lot of Anastasia palettes. I only have two, and then I have these other two that are kind of like the dupes for the other palettes that, you know, that are from Anastasia. So for me, I didn't have any duplicates that I saw. I didn't have any repeats or anything like that. So this palette retails for $45, and it's exclusive to the Anastasia website that I know of. And when I went to the Anastasia website, because I haven't actually purchased anything direct from them, if you sign up, you get a 15% off coupon, which I did, so I used it towards the palette. So I ended up getting it for like $38 and some change. Shipping was free, and as well the shipping was really quick. I think I ordered this on, I think it was either Wednesday night or Thursday night, and I got it on Saturday. So I was really pleased with that. It does as well come with the typical dual-ended brush where it's fluffy on one end and it's kind of like a dense packed brush on the other end. So I really want to get into this palette to see if it's comparable to the other Anastasia palettes that I own and if it's good. Alright guys, so if you want to see how this palette performed, then just keep on watching. So this is what the packaging looks like. It has, you know, that like that rainbow type of shift to it. I'm gonna try to see if I can use as many as the shadows as I can. I'm mainly gravitating towards these purples and these pinks and this like red color, red shimmer color. So let's see what I can come up with. So I'm gonna do the same thing as I usually do to test out eyeshadow palettes, is where I use a high-end primer versus a drugstore primer. So I'm gonna use MAC Painterly on this side, and then I'm gonna use my Essence primer on this side. Alright, so I'm actually going to use the brush that comes in the palette, and I'm going to start off with Ginger. And I'm just going to put that all over my crease. Alright, so the next shade I'm going to go in is with this one called Edges. And then this one I'm going to also just put more concentrated on my crease to deepen up the outer corner. And then I'm going to go back with that original brush and blend out the edges. Alright, so this is what it looks like so far. As you can tell, using these primers, the eyeshadow has applied very differently. Like for instance, with the MAC Paint Pot, the shadows do tend to adhere more to it. Versus my Essence eye primer, I feel like the color kind of just doesn't really stick to the primer. It kind of like blends away. So if you own the Essence primer, then I definitely would suggest going in more with the cream base versus the liquid base, because it seems like the eyeshadows tend to adhere more to the cream base. Alright, so it's so hard because there's so many shades I want to go in with. Like I want to go in with that shade Zam or Dollars as well. I mean, Dualas, I don't know how she says it. And I also want to go in with Pinker. You know what, I'm going to go in with Pinker next. So I'm just going to wipe off my brush that I just used. And then I'm going to go in with Pinker. And then I'm going to add that color right next to Edges. Such a pretty shade. And then I'm actually going to go back in with Ginger to just add it more towards my brow bone. So I'm actually gonna go in with Supreme in the very beginning of my lid, and I'm gonna use the brush from the palette, and then I'm gonna do something else. And then I'm gonna go on the other side of the brush and go in with pinker just to blend those two shades together. And then I'm gonna go in with the shade Zam, and I'm gonna just lay that all on top of that pink shade. And on partial of pinker as well, so like that. I mean, you can't see it, but couldn't help myself. Now that shade right here, Zam, that one had a lot of fallout. So I'm just gonna go back in with pinker to just deepen it up just a little bit. And as well with edges, because some of the shade did blend out. So I definitely suggest with the shade Zam to either apply it with the wet brush, or if not, do your eye makeup first and then your base, because it did, let's see if you can see it. Well, I'm not sure if you can, but it did disperse a lot of fallout. And it's that type of fallout that sticks to your base too. So I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other eye, where I add Zam all on the beginning of the lid. Yeah, so fallout got everywhere. So I'm just gonna repeat the same steps where I highlight on pinker and edges. All right, so for my brow bone, I'm actually gonna go in with Soleil. Gotta tap off the excess, because that's such a pretty brow bone color. So I'm just gonna wipe off my brush, and I'm just gonna blend all that together so it doesn't look so harsh. And then in the inner corner, just to test it out, I'm gonna go in with Trust Issues. All right, and just because that shade is really crumbly, I'm gonna just grab my spray and spritz some on it, so that way it doesn't get all over my face. Jesus, there is fallout all over my face. All right, so I'm just gonna, I mean, there's no point now, I'm already done using the shimmers, but I'm gonna put on some setting powder underneath my eyes because this fallout is ridiculous. All right, and normally, so for me personally, I don't care about fallout, but I didn't think it was gonna be this much to where it literally sticks onto your base. You know, as long as the pigment is there, they're easy to blend, but you know, it does make you a little mad. You work 30 minutes on your base for it to get ruined, but whatever. All right, so for underneath my eye, I'm gonna start off with Ginger. And then for my outer lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with Edges just to deepen it up a little bit. So I'm actually gonna go in with Supreme, and I'm gonna put that in my lower lash line too. There you go. All right, so I'm going to finish up my eyes. I'm gonna put on lashes, mascara, and I might do a wing. I'm not sure, depending how it looks with lashes. And then we'll be back to see how the finished eye looks. All right, guys, so this is the final look. I was gonna wait and like do my makeup with, like finish off my makeup with y'all, but I kind of forgot. So, given the final eye look, I really do love the outcome. The only thing is, of course, just the fallout. I mean, once I did put the setting powder and then I wiped it off, some of it did come off, but not all of it. So if you're like me and you are just in a rhythm of foundation, I mean, doing all your base products, then your eyes, and then, you know, you finish up your makeup, and that is your routine, then having a eyeshadow palette that has fallout can be very annoying, because typically I personally just don't like using or doing my foundation, I mean my eyes first and then my foundation, because for me I don't necessarily like having like that sharp line on my eyes, or I don't like having anything, you know, cleaned up basically. Like however my eye look turns out is how it's gonna turn out. I would say definitely next time I am gonna put setting powder to begin with. Like I should have done that. I should have known to do that because I've seen videos of people using her palette that has fallout, but I was just like, I can take it off, you know, like it's gonna come off. No, it didn't come off. It's still under my eyes. But if from far away you can't tell that I have fallout, but from up close, like if you're looking at me personally, then you can definitely see the little specks of shimmer and stuff like that, which, like I said, I'll just get over it. I'm not going out anywhere. It's not really bothersome, but it can be bothersome like if you're going to somewhere fancy and you need your eyeshadow not to fall on your face. Don't use this palette. Don't do it. But overall, I really do enjoy Anastasia's formula. They are very soft. They are very blendable. Of course, the shimmers do have some fallout, but this is something that can be easily fixed with just putting setting powder under your eyes, as well as wetting your brush beforehand or after, so that way it controls the shimmer from falling everywhere. I'm not mad that I picked up this palette. I am going to enjoy all the shades and as well the shimmers. Personally, would I recommend that this is a palette that someone needs? No, just because it is not beginner friendly. It has fallout all over the place that someone that's starting off with makeup does not want to deal with. There is definitely other palettes out there that have great formula, that have no fallout, that are beginner friendly, but this just ain't it. Now for the makeup enthusiast that really loves collecting eyeshadow palettes, and of course, yes, this is a palette to collect with your Anastasia Beverly Hills collection, but that's not why I picked it up. I picked it up because of the shades, how they're just, to me personally, very unique, and they are very people of color friendly. Because to be honest, I don't own a lot of eyeshadow palettes that are people of color friendly, which when I saw this eyeshadow palette come out and I saw Jackie Aina talk about it, I was like, girl, you're right. You're right. Like, there's not a lot of eyeshadow palettes or shadows that work for, you know, people of color. So definitely be a smart consumer and see if this is something that you definitely need or can skip on. Alright guys, so that is it for my little small review of the Jackie Aina and Anastasia palette. Let me know your thoughts below on which palette is your favorite from the whole Anastasia line. I do thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and as well click the notification button so that way you don't miss next upload. We'll see you in the next one.